Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday morning. And not only that, happy first day of June 2020, Monday morning. It is, I think it's June 1st. Yeah, it is. So here we go. This month will round out the first half of 2020 by the time we get to the end of it. So let's make it a great month. We are just loading everything up here for this week's trainings. And why can't I see my clock? Oh, there we go. I can see it. Today, we are talking about the foundational marketing law that you'll hear about here in a moment. That is really important. All of us adapt into our marketing, our messaging, and let's get into it. So it is 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. We are here each day with a snippet of training to help you generate qualified sales appointments for your business, whether you sell a product, whether you sell service. If you sell that to another business, this is the place to be. My name is Brian Williams, and I run a company called Real Appointments. And that's what we do. We generate real business appointments, sales appointments for ourselves and for our clients using a process and a system that I developed a couple of years ago for another business of mine. And now we offer this as an exclusive service, but we want to share with you today and every day just a little bit of our process so that you can implement this on your own. So with that, I want to introduce my co-host and partner, Ronan Rahman, who's behind the curtain. And boom, now he's
here. I am.
Here you are.
Like Happy Monday.
Indeed. So what are we going to be doing today?
Today, you're going to be telling us about market to message match, because it's market to message match Monday.
Exactly.
And the way I look at it, it's the single most important thing about your LinkedIn profile that you could do, that if you don't get this part right, all your other efforts are going to be sort of marginally effective, if you will. So I'm interested to hear that. And we are live. So being live means you can comment, you can ask questions, interact with us. We would love to hear from you. So with that, yeah, I'm going to let you go and do your thing.
I appreciate it. So market to message match Monday. This not only will help you what you're going to learn here with your LinkedIn profile, and it certainly will. This is sort of the foundational law of marketing that you want to make sure is incorporated into whatever campaigns, whatever messaging, whatever advertising that you're doing. I mean, this relates right down to subject lines and emails that you may send out, letters that you may send in the mail, your profile on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever. This is a foundational principle that you really want to dial in because if you dial just this one thing in, it will help improve whatever else it is that you're doing, whether it's to generate sales appointments, which is our main focus, or really get any kind of response, at least a relevant response from businesses and consumers alike when it comes to your marketing. And so let me explain what it is, and then I'm going to show you our formula so you can actually create your own market to message match statement right now today. So this would be a great time to grab a sheet of paper, grab a pencil, or open up a clean Word document, because you may want to follow along with us. In fact, you probably do. So what is a market to message match? What does that mean exactly? So it's really actually a very simple concept. It's not so easy to implement, okay, but it is simple. And that is this: your market, when we talk about the word market, what we are referring to is actually a who. It's who it is that you want your message to resonate with. Who specifically do you want to go, oh yeah, I need more information. I need more of that, right? So when that, there's a lot of noise out there, right? There's lots of social media noise. There's lots of other kinds of noise. And it's how do you stand out from all that noise and meet your market where they are, right? And that's what we talk about market. Your message is what you say, right? And what you say can come in the form of words. It can come in the form of a video. It can come in the form of images. Really a lot of different modalities that we have at our disposal these days when it comes to the message. So we're going to share with you now a formula for how you can create this. And if you wouldn't mind showing my screen, Ronan, I will go to that part of our work shop. And speaking of workshops, we are hosting another free workshop this coming Friday. We call it Guaranteed Sales Appointments, and you can register for your free seat at guaranteedsalesappointments.com. You can do that right now, or you can wait till after this training. And it's at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, which is 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. We go for about an hour and 20 minutes, and we take kind of a deep dive on the whole process that we use for generating guaranteed sales appointments. This is a small little segment of the market to message match component. And I'm going to jump right into the formula because this is really what you want to write down and what you want to do and go along with us if you can while you're listening to this live or while you're watching the replay. And if you are listening to this live, feel free to post your comments or questions in the chat wherever you're viewing this, in the comments below, and we'll do our best to answer those questions and respond to your comments. So the first thing that we do is we take kind of a high level view. Okay, and the high level view that we look at is what industry are we going to put our message into, right? So industries are large, okay, very, very large. Like healthcare could be considered an industry. Sports could be considered an industry. Automotive could be considered an industry. Internet could be potentially considered an industry these days. So what is the industry that you want to put your message into, right? What industry do you do business in now? And normally for most of us, we're in we usually are just dealing in one industry. Where things get more granular are the market segments within those industries. And normally an industry is going to have thousands, if not tens of thousands of segments that you can work within. So if we go back and we use, let's say, automotive, I like changing it up every week. So let's pick automotive today for our industry. There's lots of different market segments within automotive, right? There's automotive repair, there's automotive sales, there's new car sales, used car sales, maintenance, there's import and there's export. There's all different kinds of industries, parts, electronics, you name it. You could probably, if you looked at the automotive industry, there'll be thousands of market segments within that industry. So whatever industry that you wrote down, I want you to pick just one of the segments in that industry that you do a lot of business in, or that you want to be doing a lot of business in, and write down that market segment. It doesn't matter what it is. You can choose another one later when you do this exercise again, but for today, just choose the one market segment that you want to play with, if you will, for right now. And then once you've done that, every type of business or every market segment has individual people that are working in there, right? And that's the who. That gets to the person that we want to, when they read, see, or consume our message, we want that individual person, we call them a prospect, to go, yep, I need more, or I want to have a conversation, or I need to take this further. And so sometimes that person might be the owner of a business. Sometimes that person might be a salesperson. Sometimes that person might be an office manager. So think about the person that I like to use this example. If you were to walk into a conference room that has 12 people sitting at a conference room table, and you have carte blanche, free time to talk about what it is that you sell, what it is that you offer, who are the 12 people in that room? Are they the owners of businesses within the market segment? Or are they the purchasing directors or the marketing officers? Who specifically do you want to be able to present in front of your product or service? If I could put 12 people, the perfect people in that conference room. And that's the visual that I want you to think about when you're identifying the people. And sometimes there might be more than one type of individual within the market segment, and that's okay. So write a couple of down. That's okay. And then finally, and this is what really brings it all home, is What is it that you do, or what service do you, or how is it that what you do, what your service provides, what your product does that solves a problem, a frustration, a pain point, we call it, for those people sitting in that room? What is it that they are dealing with that your solution either solves completely or minimizes frustration or pain? And I want you to write down either the 1, 2, or 3, key things that your product or your service does in solving that room's problems. Makes their life easier, makes their job more enjoyable, right? Reduces their stress, right? Things that are like, oh my gosh, if I could just reduce this frustration, I'm in, right? That's what I want you to think through, because if you can get that right, if you really understand your market that well and the people in that market that well, when you write your messages, they're going to resonate with those people, and you're going to have some really, really good quality conversations. I'm going to show you an example of what I'm talking about. Let me move over to another part of my screen, which is my LinkedIn profile. Are you seeing my LinkedIn profile, Ronan?
Yes.
Awesome. So here's just one example of how this can show up or manifest in one area. So here's my LinkedIn profile. You can see right below my name, I have a custom headline. And this custom headline derived from me following the same formula that I just shared with you. And so I'll read it to you just in case it's too small for you to see on your screen. Mine says, speaker and investor, guaranteed appointments for CPAs, agencies, and B2B consultants seeking high net worth clients. Now, I'm going to unpack that just a bit so you understand how this statement ties into that formula that I just presented to you. Now, I'm going to go kind of in reverse order. So what's the pain or the problem that I'm solving here? I end with that in this particular headline, seeking high net worth clients. I know that my market desires to be in front of high net worth clients. And they struggle with consistently being in front of high net worth clients. And so if I can solve that problem for them, they might be attracted to wanting to have a conversation with me. So that's the problem in this particular case that I am presenting a solution towards. And I've also called out my market. Now, in my case, I have a few different markets that I'm working, which is a little bit advanced. I would recommend starting with one and then adding as you go. So in my case, I'm calling out CPAs, agencies, and B2B consultants. When I started this process for myself, I just focused on one. It was actually CPA firms. And then I built upon that and built upon that. So you can choose how you want to peel this back a bit. What I can tell you is that if you're feeling the same concern that I felt when I was just speaking to CPA firms, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm leaving all these other markets out of my sphere. Just relax. You can always add or change your messaging to include additional markets that you can help serve. So that's where that comes from. And then I also call very specifically out what it is that I do, right? I guarantee appointments, right? So you don't need to come up with, clever language here. Just spell it out very simply in as few words as possible. In my case, it's 2 words. Guaranteed appointments. So that's just a way that using that market to message match formula can come across in something real like this. And this, by the way, can apply to all your different social media profiles. Candidly, you could convert these into longer messages with email, subject lines, you name it. It's really, really important. And one of the things I'll also share with you is oftentimes just by dialing in your market to message match languaging can attract people to you that otherwise would not hear you or not take notice of you, except for the fact that you've done that part. So I'm going to come back to my main view here. And there we go. And that's really what I wanted to share. And I cannot overstate the importance of being thoughtful when it comes to this. And sometimes it'll take me days, if not weeks, to really noodle this formula as I'm building another campaign for myself and my business before I really dial it in. And another thing that I suggest is once you have the languaging that you feel is going to work, run it by some other people. In fact, the best people to run it by are people that match your market, right? So in my case, if I run that by a CPA or I run that by a business-to-business consultant, and they provide me feedback like, yeah, that would be meaningful to me, then I know I'm on the right track. On the other hand, oftentimes I'll hear, I don't like that one word, Brian, or I don't like the way that's being presented, and I'll make an adjustment because I'm getting feedback directly from my market, directly from the people who I want to build a relationship with. So this is a little tip on how you can know whether or not your messaging is on point. So that's it. I don't see any comments in here right now. So Ronan, do you have anything you'd like to add to this conversation? And just before you do, if you wouldn't mind popping up the link to this coming Friday's workshop, we are hosting a free deep dive workshop where we're going to unpack our entire process for generating guaranteed sales appointments. If you're interested in participating in that, you can sign up for free at guaranteedsalesappointments.com. It's this Friday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing that I wanted to add, I know there's a lot of consternation about being too tight and too narrow. And I can certainly understand that because it seems like a whole world of opportunity is passing you by. But think about it this way. If you try to talk to everybody, nobody will hear you because your message is too broad. It's too not specific. It tries to speak to everybody and nobody will hear it because it doesn't speak to them. And when you get really, really, really focused about it, everything about what you say is directed at the person you're trying to talk to. And that's what lands for them. When you're talking about their specific issue, not some broad issue that everybody kind of suffers from. So everything that we do, and we'll talk about it later, we're going to talk tomorrow about our 3-point power profile and things that you need to do to elevate the profile. And then on Wednesday, we're going to talk about messaging. Well, if you have a broad audience, your message is going to be scattered and all over the place, and it's going to be really hard to hone in on that. So, the whole idea of being very specific, you don't have to do it forever. And I think that that's a really important thing to point out, because that's, I think, the reason why people hesitate in doing this.
Yeah, and what you're saying, Ronan, to paraphrase a bit, is look at this as a campaign, right? A campaign typically has a starting point and it can have an end point, and it can be modified. And by the way, you can have multiple campaigns running at the same time. So we have a lot, like, for example, we run a lot of different advertising campaigns and email campaigns and direct mail campaigns, but each one of those campaigns is speaking directly to the people that are receiving that message. So we don't talk about we help marketing agencies when we're emailing CPAs, right? We don't talk about attorneys when we're marketing to business consultants, right? Because they won't resonate with that. So look at it that way. Yes, I get the fact that your LinkedIn headline, your Facebook headline, or what have you, are sort of like ever present, right? So you might be going, well, I don't have 10 different LinkedIn profiles, so how could I run 10 different LinkedIn campaigns? I understand that, but trust us. If you start for 30 days, just focus on one awesome market, one awesome message, and you will experience the power in that and the results that come from that.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited for tomorrow because we're going to expand on this. Tomorrow, we're going to revisit the headline, but also some other aspects of people's profiles, right, which is going to give them a nice, clean profile that communicates to the audience that they're looking to speak to. And it's going to be fantastic. So we're going to be back tomorrow, same time, 9:30. And of course, we've got our Friday training for people to sign up for it.
Awesome.
All right,
everybody, go out there, crush it today. Have a great first Monday of the month, first day of the month. And if there's anything that Ronan and I can help you with, just reach out to us. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody.